The Seattle Sounders are back. The Seattle Sounders just had their best homestand in history, catapulting them into the playoff picture in a close Western Conference race. But how did they get here? Here's a recap of basically the first half of the 2024 season. The Sounders started the 2024 MLS season with only 9 points from 10 games, their worst 10-game start since 2018. Plagued by 4 red cards and numerous injuries, including a concussion to longtime starting goalkeeper Stephen Fry, the team struggled to find stability. Last season's backup keeper, Stephen Cleveland, was no longer with the team, so Andrew Thomas from their MLS Next Pro team in Tacoma had to step in. He struggled, conceding 3 goals with no wins. About a month after Fry returned, the Sounders faced DC United away. In the 28th minute, Fry received a controversial red card for tripping an attacker in the box. He was out of the game, and Andrew Thomas had to be subbed in. The Sounders ended up losing that match. On May 8th, about a week after the Philly game, let's take a guess on who the starting goalkeeper was. Of course it was. Andrew Thomas was back in goal for a US Open Cup game. This time it was planned as the Open Cup is a separate tournament from MLS. The match went to penalty kicks, and Andrew Thomas sealed the win with a crucial kick.
On penalties, the magic of Starfire continues.
The rest of May didn't go so well. To summarize, they choked the lead in the 90th minute, got a red card, choked another lead in the 90th, got another red card, and choked yet another game away in the 85th minute. The fans' hopes were dwindling as the team struggled to find its footing. The Sounders then spent 4 straight Saturdays at home with one midweek matchup after the first game in Houston. After the midweek game, they had 3 weeks in Seattle to train without traveling. This was a crucial period for the team to regroup and strategize. The Sounders started to capitalize on that. On June 15th, the Sounders began their homestand against Minnesota with a dominant 2-0 win. Minnesota went on to lose 5 straight games after that, dropping in the standings while the Sounders' run was just beginning. The victory sparked new energy and determination within the team. Their last road game of the month was against Houston. The Sounders went down 2-0 early, but staged a remarkable comeback with goals in the 57th and 63rd minutes to score a win. The momentum was shifting, and the team was gaining confidence. From there came one of the biggest comebacks of the season. FC Dallas was up 2-0 after scoring in the 70th minute. Even with Apple TV giving the Sounders just a 1.5% chance to win, they mounted an incredible comeback. Rui Diaz scored 8 minutes later. Morris tied the game in the 88th minute, and in stoppage time, Morris clinched the victory.
Seattle, back out. Jordan Morris, Jordan Morris, Jordan Morris, yeah! Do you believe in Seattle?
What looked like a guaranteed loss turned into 3 points just like that. After another dominating 2-0 home win on June 29th, the Seattle Sounders finally jumped over the playoff line for the first time this season. They concluded the homestand with a 2-0 victory over the Revs, making them unbeaten over 5 games. They continued their unbeaten streak with victories over Sacramento in the Open Cup and wins against Austin and St. Louis FC, maintaining a perfect all-time record against the latter. Surprisingly, also keeping the longest streak of games where St. Louis scored an own goal. Yes, Tim Parker has scored more goals for the Sounders than Nuhu. I know. In 7 MLS games, the Sounders picked up 19 points unbeaten and sat at 6th in the Western Conference, creeping up to the higher seeds. This amazing streak was fueled by young talent and striker Jordan Morris, who scored 6 out of his 9 goals in 8 games, as well as 8 in 11. Without Morris, the Sounders season could have been in dire straits, and Briar Smetzer's job could have been on the line. But the Sounders were backed up by the talent they developed in their academy, as well as the Tacoma Defiance. We've seen Andrew Thomas as an example of this, but now let's talk about some more. Obed Vargas and Reed Baker Whiting, 18 and 19 respectively, have received a lot more playing time thanks in part to injuries but also due to their skill. Vargas has really made an impact on the offense by scoring 1 goal and assisting 6 times. These midfielders have really increased the Sounders' midfield depth, but also made Smetzer face a lot of tough lineup decisions. However, the resurgence of Morris and the growth in youth talent have led to dissatisfaction among some senior players, including Raul Ruidiaz and Leo Chu, who are rumored to be considering transfers. But that's about caps off the first half of the Sounders season. They take a month-long MLS break to play in the Leagues Cup, which has no effect on the MLS standings, so this video will stay relevant for longer. They return in late August against Minnesota United. Thanks for watching, and welcome back to ECS 24.